Look at this. This is Roppongi. I had a really weird encounter the other day, and I thought I'd talk about it, so you can help me shed some light on what the fuck happened. It sounds ominous, I know, but it was more just bizarre. And if you listen to the Abroad Japan podcast, which you definitely should, every Sunday and Thursday, available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all the other ones, but just not YouTube. Because anyway, I talked about it there. I was in Roppongi the other day, which is a very sort of really popular nightlife district in Tokyo, and this is what it looks like. So this is why I've used the photo. And I was in a hurry to get to a meeting, and this Japanese guy, he spoke perfect English, stopped me, and he was like, "Can I ask you some? Can I just stop you for a moment? I want to show you something." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not sure I want to see something. I'm in a hurry." He was like, "No, you're gonna like this." And I was like, "Oh, okay, fine." And he had this handful of kind of Polaroid-sized pieces of artwork, right? They were Polaroid size. He's like, "Look, I'm an artist, digital artist, and I've made some work." And I was just wondering, I like to go out and ask people on the street what they think of it and get their feedback and hear their thoughts. I think it's kind of like a good sort of collaborative thing. And I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever, yeah. Show me the art." And he put it in my hand, and it was not good. It was literally like this. This is the closest thing I could find to what it looked like. And it was like white noise from TV, right? So it was like this, one of them. And on the top of it had two black triangles, like ears. And I was like, "What's this?" And he was like, it's the goddess Apollo on the Mount of Olympus. And I was like, "Oh, it seems we see very different things in this artwork." And he's like, "Yeah, it's kind of like, I think art is in the eye of the beholder, and it's very subjective." I was like, "Yeah, subjective," and at this point, the artwork was so obscure. Like the next one, there was only 3 or 4 pieces of artwork, right? One of them was just a photo of Yoko Ono that had been inverted and all this like weird colour against like a green backdrop and then duplicated. It was like the sort of thing you do on Photoshop in like 4 seconds on a rainy day, if you were very odd. And I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And he was like, "It's Yoko Ono in a way you've never seen her before." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I wonder why we've never seen her like this before." At this point, right, I noticed in his left hand he had his earphones out, right, and they were on a cable, like a 3.5mm jack. The good old days when we used to have earphones that you plugged into things. And I was wondering, am I being trolled here? Am I being pranked? Am I being filmed? And while he was explaining the artwork, how it was the goddess Apollo rolling around in some shit or something, I was looking around like this, like, "Oh yeah, Apollo." And I was looking around, seeing if I could see someone with a fucking like 500mm lens in a bush. And I couldn't see anyone. Although it was difficult, because as you can see, the streets, they could be anywhere. So I started going on the assumption that I was probably being pranked, or this was a joke, or even a scam. I told this story to a friend, and they said it could have been a scam, that they were trying to distract me as they stole things. I don't think it was that. I think it might be a prank. He was very good at English, kind of like an American accent. But he was a Japanese guy that learned English. And he was like, "What do you think of the art then?" I was like, and he was like, "You could be honest. You could be painfully honest." I was like, "I think it's not very good." I was like, I believe art is subjective, but this is not good. And he was like, "Oh, but I think you can see this is different. You just can't see." And then he was like, "What I want you to do is to take this artwork. I want you to take these 25 pieces of artwork, which are just the same 6 pieces of artwork repeated and fucking in a pile." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "I want you to put them on your coffee table, and I want you to just look at them and reflect." And I was like, "No, that's not going to be happening." And I put them back in his hand. And I was just like, "Look, I don't think this is very good. This is not artwork. This is like a hatch job on Photoshop." And it was very odd. I don't know how to. I really hope it was a prank, because either I've insulted an artist who is just very different in the way they approach art. Although I've seen worse art, to be fair, and Yeah, I kind of hope it was a prank. Otherwise, I was really blunt to this guy. I was like, "This is shit. Your artwork's rubbish." And I tried to see if he was a YouTuber. He was like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've got a YouTube channel about Japan." And he was like, "What's it called?" I was like, "Abroad in Japan." And he said, "Oh, my friends tell me I should watch channels like that." And I was like, "Yeah. What does that mean?" Anyway, we're like, "All right, good luck with everything. Bye." And that was the end of that. And I was like 5 minutes late for my meeting. I was pretty annoyed, to be fair. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think was that? What do you think that was? Because I, to this day, haven't a fucking clue. But it's definitely a scam. It's definitely a scam. The goal is to get your fingerprints. Holy shit. I hadn't thought about that. That's pretty creepy, yeah. I don't know why they want my fingerprints, but that's actually a really good point. But then he did want me to take the artwork, right? He was like keen on me getting the artwork and taking it home. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's just so weird. Very odd. Strange people in Roppongi. Maybe he would have demanded money if you'd kept them. That's possible. Yeah, it's entirely possible.